Have you ever noticed that one person's mood can completely control your entire day? A simple late reply makes you anxious. A tiny, subtle shift in their tone makes you overthink everything. When they become distant, you don't just feel sad, you feel a physical ache in your chest. You feel like your entire world is falling apart. You start checking your phone constantly. You unlock it, look at the screen, lock it, and repeat the cycle 2 minutes later. You can't focus at work. You can't relax at home. Their silence feels louder than any words they could ever say to you. But what if this isn't actually love? What if you aren't attached to the person, but desperately attached to the feeling and the safety they temporarily give you? Let's clarify something important right from the start. Emotional attachment is not a bad thing. We are human beings. We are biologically wired to connect, to lean on each other, and to build deep relationships. A healthy relationship is never about being completely cold, independent, and needing nobody. Healthy attachment sounds like this: I love you. I care about you. You matter immensely to me. But if you walk away, I still know who I am. The problem begins when your emotional stability stops belonging to you, and you hand the remote control of your feelings over to someone else. It happens when their happiness becomes the only condition for your happiness. When their distance becomes your psychological agony. When their approval becomes the single metric that decides whether you feel worthy of existing. That is the exact moment where healthy attachment slowly crosses the line into emotional addiction. The fascinating and heartbreaking thing about overattachment is that it rarely actually starts with the person you are dating right now. It begins much, much earlier. In psychology, we look at our childhood and our early attachment styles. Think back to how you experienced love growing up. For many of us, love was unpredictable. It was inconsistent. Sometimes your parents or caregivers were warm and attentive, other times they were distant, stressed, or emotionally unavailable. Maybe you unconsciously learned that you had to be perfect to receive attention. Maybe you felt like you had to stay quiet, suppress your own tantrums, adjust your personality, or constantly prove your value just to be noticed. When a young brain experiences love that way, it learns a dangerous, hardwired pattern. Love means uncertainty. Love means waiting by the door. Love means working overtime so someone doesn't leave me. As adults, we unconsciously seek out relationships that match this familiar chaos. We mistake anxiety for passion and uncertainty for chemistry. Then, one day, someone enters your life. They listen to you. They look at you. They give you the validation you've been starving for. And suddenly, your brain lights up and says, this is it. This is the person who will heal the void. You stop seeing them as just a regular partner with flaws. Subconsciously, they become elevated to something much bigger. They become your source of safety. Your proof of being good enough. Your evidence that you are finally chosen. And slowly, without even realizing it, you stop asking the most important question in a relationship: do I actually enjoy being with this person? Instead, you start asking a fear-based question: how do I change myself to make sure I never lose them? How do you know if you've crossed this line? The signs are quiet at first. You analyze every single text message like a crime scene. A short, one-word reply triggers a flood of internal questions. Are they angry? Did I do something wrong? Are they losing interest? Their mood becomes your full-time job. If they are having a bad day, you feel like you have personally failed. To avoid conflict, you start eroding your own boundaries. You find it impossible to say no. You start canceling plans with friends, dropping your hobbies, and feeling overwhelming guilt the moment you spend a single hour focusing on yourself. The biggest danger of overattachment isn't that you love someone too much. You can never love a person too much. The real danger is that you completely abandon yourself while trying to keep them. You become a chameleon. You change your opinions, your style, and your values to become easier to love. You hide your anger, you swallow your sadness, and you stop doing the very things that made you feel alive before they arrived. One day, you look in the mirror and realize you don't even recognize the person looking back at you. You are still physically in the relationship, but you have completely disappeared inside it. Breaking this pattern doesn't mean you need to become cold, detached, or guarded. The goal is to build a life where you can love someone deeply without erasing who you are. Healing this wound requires rewriting those old childhood scripts through consistent action. Acknowledge the fear. Next time you feel anxious, ask yourself, am I choosing this person right now out of love, or am I clinging to them out of a terror of being alone? Diversify your joy, reconnect with your old friends, your old hobbies, and your career. Your happiness needs multiple pillars so that if one shakes, the whole house doesn't fall down. Practice emotional self-regulation. Learn to sit with the discomfort of a late text or a quiet evening without panicking. Breathe through the anxiety instead of fixing it by begging for reassurance. The healthiest kind of love doesn't say, I can't live without you. The healthiest love looks the other person in the eye and says, I can live without you. I am completely capable of standing on my own 2 feet, but I choose to walk this path with you.